Hey YouTube, and we're back for my review, what is going to be my review of episode 2 of the Transformers, the 1984 series. It'll be More Than Meets the Eye Part 2 this time. And I did want to make a couple of notes about the previous episode I forgot. It was better animated than I thought it was going to be. I think we all know, kind of like the Scooby-Doo animation, where like the characters, like when those 4 5 characters always move down the hallway. It's a very stilted form of animation, like Hanna-Barbera. I actually thought it was going to be kind of that style, but no, it's actually like a level above that. So actually, I was really impressed by that. Um, this is another narrative point that is never answered in the series proper. Why do Optimus and all the other robots already have the appearance of the vehicles on Earth they change into? That always kind of bugged me. In fact, that was also a continuity issue I had with Beast Wars, that they already called themselves Maximals and Predacons, even though they hadn't started the Beast Wars yet. And I always wondered what their names were before they took on the animal appearances. It was always kind of weird to be like, was was like Arachnus always known as Tarantulas? Was Tarantulas always known as Tarantulas prior to becoming a beast? Like yeah, that's kind of a weird continuity hiccup. And I like that the story is one of resource management. Like, oh, Cybertron is simply run out of resources. That's why they were hunting for more resources in other worlds. I kind of like that. So, here we go. Let's go watch. The Transformers Episode 2, More Than Meets the Eye, Part 2. Okay, we're getting a little better. All right, I got my notes here from More Than Meets the Eye, Part 2. Okay. Again, just the limited technology, which I think I actually have come up with a reasonable explanation for why the technology almost seems very unbalanced with the Transformers, why they don't just use like, all the time. I think I know what's going on. The use of a hook and grapple very early on in the first episode, I like. In this episode, I like how they're supportive of one another. Oh, grab on, Prime! It was a hook and grapple. I like that they don't hide themselves. I like that there isn't a big thing of we need to hide ourselves so humans don't freak out. Like the people don't freak out. Like no, they just admit, hey, we're Transformers. That's who we are. Even Megatron just comes right out to the humans and he's like, I am Megatron, leader of the Decepticons. You will listen to me. I like that. Like Spike's journals, if I remember, that is actually a recurring element of this series. That Spike is constantly writing in his journal about just these experiences that he's having that are incredible. I like how he picks up the tape that's Soundwave, and he doesn't. And yeah, they probably didn't have a chance to explain to him what the Decepticon symbol looks like. But like he picks it up and like just blatantly brings it in, not really thinking about it. And yeah, he probably wouldn't realize what it is at that point. But like it could have, the Autobots could have shown him what a Decepticon symbol looked like. So he'd be like, oh, I know what that is, and like just like walked away without saying a word, like, and just gone on like Bumblebee and be like, there's a Decepticon out there. Like I doesn't do that. Um, I like that the humans that a Spike and his name is Sparkplug, really. They immediately trusted Transformers, not to mention vice versa. The Transformers immediately trusted them. I thought that was kind of interesting little thing, which I think is just simply narrative convenience that we don't explain it. Like these guys are clearly helpful, they save their lives. We just kind of get to that point. We don't have to explain it beyond that point. As opposed to like, what the hell are you? Like just like an epic freak out mode, I like that we explain the kind of what the Transformers are. They kind of give an explanation of why they can transform. Like, oh yeah, we have robot forms, but why not transform into vehicles so we can move faster? Yeah, that kind of makes sense, really. Um, that panther was Ravage. I think it was said in the first episode, but I never caught it when Soundwave said it. But that's like the panther thing we see in Beast Wars. That was a Decepticon. That's Ravage. Hence why he turns into a tape deck. I was so happy. I was happy when I realized that. We've got. Okay, I like how Soundwave missed grabbing Spike. Like he clearly reached down. Like really, you're that incompetent? You can't grab Spike, a human. Like you're not fast enough to grab a human. That seems really bad. Um, I like how the humans saw them make a river to save them. I like that. That like the Transformers, like really, the Autobots are really really good guys. I like how they arrived at the plant to stop the Decepticons, and like now they shoot with like really like all this hand-to-hand combat you were doing earlier, but now I also think while I have an explanation for their limited powers, there are also some balance issues. Um, Starscream! I mean, it's totally just like an Abbott and Costello routine. Like Starscream will do something stupid, and Megatron will be Starscream. I think that's totally what he's for. He's just an idiot. The cheesy hunger for power statement that Megatron makes. Yes, I'm hungry for power because I deserve it. And they fight each other with a mace and an axe. That's really. Why are you doing that when you have guns? I don't get it. Okay, anyone ever seen Firefly? It's a funny thing when you see Mal use a sword because we're not used to seeing him use a sword, and even the characters comment like this is really weird because he's totally gung ho to use guns. And that's to make it odd, but no, Optimus and Megatron just opt for the use of a mace and an axe without even questioning it. You have this giant freaking cannon on your arm, Megatron. Just shoot it. And I'm guessing a lot of this probably comes down to a broadcast standards issue. You probably couldn't show that, like openly just show like wounds and stuff on people's chests, even though they're robots. I'm guessing you probably couldn't do that. This also probably explains why we never see that happen to the humanoid characters. I like it that Spike attacks that Rumblebot, who's basically his size. Like, oh, you know, where's oh, I forgot what his name is. That right there. Hound. He was trying to get Hound, and he thought that that was like something like, oh, where's Hound? And like the Rumblebot just pushes him aside, and then he attacks Hound. He attacks this little bot. And it's like, oh yeah, you can probably take him on. It's the same size, and we've already seen that basically fight each other. But yeah, that didn't go well. But I like that. I like that I'm gonna get you. He's a teenager. He's not gonna let that happen. I also like how Hound knows EMT stuff for humans. like Spike went and rescued him, but then somehow Hound knows how to do EMT stuff for human beings. You almost clogged your engine. What do you say? Flooded your engine. I like the acknowledgement that like we aren't fighters like the Decepticons. What do? We can't stop them. Why don't we just go back to Cybertron? I like that because it kind of does. It does give an explanation as to why we see a lot of hand-to-hand fighting. Maybe some of them aren't seasoned warriors, so that makes sense. They're not people who are used to fighting in wars and combats and battles. So maybe it's just not their first instinct to do stuff like that. Like all these rubies are the largest energy source on the planet Earth. I'm assuming it's a fictitious item they just made. I know rubies are real, but the specific rubies in these episodes. Starscream! It's using the Energon energy. I hope they do more with him. It's funny enough, but all Stars can come back to like, I'll be leader someday. Like that's all he comes back with. So I hope they do something more with that. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. And I put out there, I do know the main plot of the Transformers the movie. I do know the main plot, so I do know what transpires there. But don't spoil if something actually happens like in the series. Don't spoil that. Okay, why can some of the Decepticons fly when they're not a plane or an airplane character? When they don't like when they don't change into an actual plane? I mean, it makes sense that the humanoid forms would change into vehicles to move faster on land, but then why can the humanoid Decepticon bots, or even the Autobots, probably happened, I just didn't see it. They can fly, but they're not planes. What? Okay, Sparkplug? Your dad's name is Sparkplug? How much did you get picked on at school? I mean, yeah, your name is Spike, but that's at least kind of normal. Okay. The robot. Okay, I love how Sparkplug charges the robot who's clearly like 3 times taller than he is. What? Spike attacking the one that was the same size, that actually kind of makes sense. Like, oh, I can take you on. But no, you're clearly charging something that's huge. I mean, it's gutsy, but stupid. But yeah, how is it supposed to work? And the bomb goes off at the end of this episode. I generally want to know what happens. We have a humanoid character. So how's he going to get out of it? Bumblebee was still in there, and they sent in that little sneak bot. Optimus sent in that little sneak bot to see what was going to happen. So I'm actually really enjoying this as a little more than I thought I would. It's a testament to writing and narrative storytelling when you have an emotional response, be it excitement, anger, fear, sadness, to something you're watching or reading. I had that when I was writing my books. With the second book, when I was having people read that just to see if they liked it and stuff, I was having people getting like angry at me, and they tell me, "Oh my God, I cried at the scene. How could you do this?" Like, because you care, you actually get to a point of investment. And I think I have an explanation, and it actually is thanks to Starscream that I know it. He fires off the guns to see if they work because he's testing the Energon, But he used half the energon to do that, so I think their power reserves are limited in the actual Autobots and Decepticons themselves. So I don't think they can always just keep shooting all the time. I think that's why they don't use energy-based weapons all the time, because they just simply don't have that kind of power inside themselves. They themselves are robotic creatures, so they need some kind of energy source. I think that's what they're kind of going with here, and that's the best explanation I can come up with. That explains why there's such an inconsistency in power level, though it creates narrative hiccups here and there. All right, so that's it. That was More Than Meets the Eye Part 2 of the Transformers. Meet me next time for Part 3. Take care and bye-bye for now, everybody.